Let there be light, and there was light. Okay, so I know I've been talking about the 14 gods, and I do want to continue doing that. But then I have quite a lot of little bits of information that I think is important to just let it out so people can understand that the scriptures is more of a numerical construct that when we get to understand it, it gives us more insight, and having more insight is wisdom. So having wisdom, we can make more informed choices and of course have a more fulfilled and exciting life. So this is what we're about. So there's something that kind of amuses me, and I think I have touched on it before. We're talking about Jesus and Mother Eve is the messages are really one and the same. I have spoken about how Mother Eve is really, of course, the mother of all living, of all we learn of all, and Christ's teaching is really reflective of Mother Eve. Of course, the word Christ is, so we have Eve. It's the mother and son thing. Okay. So we have 5, 4, 5, and we have Christ, which is 3, 8, 9, 9, 1, 2. When we add these together, of course, this is 21, 29, 32. This is 32, and this is 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. So they both are 5, and we can see how they reflect each other. Mother Eve in her first word, where she says, let there be light. That word let consists of 3 letters, of course reflective of Mother Eve. And of course in that let, it equals 10, which is L-E-T 3, 5, 2. Adding this together is 10. And so the cycle is complete, that the word 10, T-E-N, the word 10 is 2, 5, 5 equals 12. Of course, 12 gives us 3. And 3 is the magic number that gives us 11, meaning Mother Eve has done a whole cycle, and this too is about to birth another cycle. When Mother Eve says let, that means there is a cycle happening here. This reminds me of the letter D that I have just been doing. Okay, that I did on the other presentation. So we have covered Mother Eve here, and to show with Christ's teaching here, we see, of course, and I was just looking at this with words that I perhaps haven't done this, but the word is in Christ, and the word wow, okay, that's not where I meant to go with this, but I was just going with what I was observing right now. So we have got Mother Eve and Christ, they both are 5. And of course, as we have seen, the word let is 10. If we added 5 plus 5 together, that would give us 10, just like the word Adam gives us 10 as well. But Adam and Eve, as we learn, gives us 15, and they come into the middle of numbers 1 to 15. This is 5, okay, which coincides with the word sin, actually, but I won't do that right now. What I want to really cover here is reading the scriptures where it said that before Christ was crucified and he went onto the mount to pray, and Satan went onto the mount with him. That really, Satan went with him. That text really got me thinking, why would Satan go with Christ? And as if they were friends. But really thinking about the story and really thinking about it in numerical value, in numerology, there was another thing that struck me as well. It was when Christ said to Peter, well, the Son of Man has to give up his life, or something to that effect. And Peter was being very protective of him and saying, well, no, you can't let this happen. And Christ turned and said to him, get thee behind me, Satan. So there is what I want to show you, that everything has its vibrational match, and everything is about energy, and of course um the the numerical values of those numbers as well. So if you have watched my videos before, you will know that I say that Mother Eve is really the serpent, serpent, the serpent in the garden. The word serpent equals 7. Of course, we have seen how 7 is foundational because it equals 20, and there we have 2. Okay, Mother Eve, of course, we heard about being cast to the ground. The serpent was cast to the ground. The ground, of course, or the snake, we could say the snake, which we often use today as snake, snake, doing the numerical value, which has 5 letters as well. Of course, serpent has 7 letters, and it's 7, and snake has 5 letters and has the numerical value of 5 as well. So this is 5, 2, 1, 5, 1. Adding these together, this is 8, 10, 13, 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Just as it will here for Mother Eve. This is 14. 5 plus 5 plus 4, 14. Adding this together gives us 5. So we see that Mother Eve was also the serpent or the snake in the Garden of Eden. Now, I mention this to say that we hear about Satan in the garden, which was the serpent. We have made the connection that Satan, Satan, was the one in the garden which beguiled Eve. This is what we learn. Now here we have also 5 letters correlating with these 5 letters here of the snake. We have 6, 8, and 2, 10. That equals 10. Now, bear in mind we are talking about Christ, who went up the mount, or he knew that he was going to be tested, or he was being tested by Satan, who said to him as well, I think it's the word Satan, who said to him, if you worship me, all this is yours. Showed Christ all that is all the good in the world, or just paraphrasing here, showed Christ all the riches, and if you bow and worship me, you could have all this. But basically, Satan is really the extreme low vibration, or acting as the low vibration of Mother Eve here, or God, we could say. So it's like, if we remember that everything God created or made, he saw it was good. When Eve ate of the fruit, Eve saw it was good. She knew it was good, or she saw it was good. And God saw that everything, meaning Mother Eve, the word Eve is in everything. And we also learned that Adam named his wife Eve because she's the mother of all. So we see in those texts that Eve is really everything. This is the mother, as I say, who plays on the ground, pretending to be a serpent, pretending to be a dog barking, or pretending to be a cow mooing with her child on the ground, and really teaching the child of all these aspects or life form before the child actually encounters those creatures in reality. This is why we read the stories to the children, so they have a representation or indication of what those creatures are like. Many children would know how a dog bark. Okay, we couldn't say a dog because everyone it has a pet dog or a cat, but a cow, how it moves, or how a horse groans, or if that's the proper term, before really encountering that animal. And that's what Mother Eve had been doing in the garden, playing the different roles. So as Satan, or as the serpent, or as the snake. And so when Christ said, "Get thee behind me," there is another thing. Get thee, which is THEE. Doing the numerical values for this here, we will see is 20. So basically 20. Of course, the word 20 gives us 8. And 8 is really like 10 in essence as whole. I don't really want to do all the numbers right now, but get thee behind me, Satan. When Christ said that, in reference to Paul, Peter. And this is Peter. Christ was calling Peter Satan. So 9, 5, 2. Of course, 2 5s here. And we have 10, 21, 28. 2 plus 8 equals 10. And so we see Satan and Peter has the same numerical value. And so this is why I have seen that what Satan does, Satan's role is really of two functions here. There is the positive and the negative. Is giving us choices of which we are choosing to thrive on. This is again on par with the word perfect. Satan is pushing us to see who we are, what we are made of. And this is where, of course, when Christ, which is 5, saying to Peter, "Get thee behind me, Satan," Christ is more or less saying, because he's Christ now, or becoming, or has seen himself as Christ, which is 21998 adding this together, 20 31 32. 32 of course is 5. So Christ sees himself in this position, in the new. Christ was seeing himself as new with 5 NEW. This is the path he has come to teach us, how to get into the middle of what numbers 1 to 9. How to be whole, how to be protected, how to eat of the fruit, how to open the third eye, how to walk that new path, which is, as I say, it is central here. So Christ was saying to Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. So he is here, and Satan, we could say, is either here or there. Of course, Satan is always with us, but in these numerical values, because when we add these numbers here, 1 to 4, it gives us 10. So we could say there is a developmental stage here, and Christ is more or less saying or wanting to be in this position and not just here, which is here Mother Eve has called us to be in this developmental stage now, so we can create. So Christ really was in a stage of creation or being anew. However he saw himself, he was referring to Peter as Satan. And we could see Satan is the north, south, east, and west. He presents these elements to you to be whole. And that's what it is about being whole. We have to face Satan. We have to face Satan to break into having our Kundalini rise. Because the Kundalini, for instance, which is Kundalini. Again, this is 959314532. Adding this together, this is 5, 10, 15. This would be 18, 27, 33, 32, 41. 4 plus 1 is 5. So we see about Christ, when said to Satan, get thee behind me, he is having this Kundalini experience. Christ is having that awakening, that enlightenment that we are asked to emulate right here. Okay, so I hope you get this. I wanted to really show this, that Peter, as the number 10, Peter, which has that it's like a pet, and the ER, for instance, is beginning and end, or end and beginning. This is why, again, Christ said, upon this rock I will build my church, and he's talking about Peter, although he had referred to him as Satan. But it's because Peter symbolizes the polarities, positive and negative. Beginning and end is right here as well. And of course, Mother Eve, the two E's are really symbolic of Mother Eve's presence. Okay, so another thing as well, we could say that it goes in this 28-day cycle, the moon cycle as well, Peter. Okay, I hope you get this. It really means that your name carries a vibration that is very important. And of course, before I go on with this, is to also show that the number 10, as I say, is Satan. It's Satan. It's also heaven, Heaven, and it's also hell. Remember that there were war in the heavens as well. So if we think that heaven was without any trouble or misunderstanding, remember it is said it's from Satan was in heaven, and of course we only see Satan as being in hell, but all these have the same numerical value of 10. Okay, So I think I'll leave you with this because I really wanted to make this point. And it's the same like I have seen with Job. This is another story we see with the story of Job, where God said to Satan, Are you have you got your eyes on my servant Job? So basically, to get people to understand that God and Satan are not far removed from each other as we think they are, because God created all things. Satan is a function of God. And we could see, as I say in the story of Job, you could see us friends were having a chat. It's just like us, for instance, having a talk with ourselves. And we can talk ourselves into something good, what we consider as good, or we can talk ourselves into something negative as what we see as being bad. So there we are with Satan and Christ and God and Mother Eve. So, of course, Adam too has that numerical value of 10, which is saying that we are of the Adam. So we are Adamic. So we are of Adam, and we have that title, and hence that we also learn about being in sin or being of sin, and this is 10 here again. Oh, the word sin, for instance, would be a different value, of course, but I'm just showing how everything is really interrelated, and perhaps we should not be fighting ourselves, but really getting to understand or make up our God or the gods in us. Thank you. Okay. Hope you have found some use or information, useful information here. Thank you.